me down. Down to the rabbit hole. Follow me down. Follow me down. Rabbit hole.
Hello, and welcome to the Rabbit Hole Heroines. My name is Jessica, the Big Weird Mom.
And I'm Jess, Crazy Mother Runner.
And we are having our long-awaited Britney show. We have the Zen Blonde with us. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, good to be back.
Yeah, you are our resident pop culture expert. So you're basically a part of the podcast at this point. We're so glad to have you. And we have Pi, aka Dear Brittany, the best Britney impersonator on TikTok.
Thank you. So great to be here and see all of you.
Yeah. So where to start? I mean, I feel like the world as a collective has been watching Britney's story from the beginning, and everything is kind of coming to a boiling point with her this year. I asked Lauren before we got onto the podcast if she could give me a rundown. And, I think that we should just start off with that. The last that we kind of checked in with Britney, they were doing the court situation was happening for her conservatorship, but things have changed in the last couple of weeks. Do you want to give us a rundown, Lauren?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think like the biggest thing that's on the docket right now, not to use a legal term, is Britney's engagement. So it all kicked off with a post on Sam Asghari's Instagram story, and it was a picture of the ring that is the ring. It said Lioness on the inner band. It was inscripted, which is his nickname for her. But then he said he was hacked. And I think all of us were kind of like, that's a really specific hack, Sam. And then the next day, they announced their engagement, which was amazing. And I mean, obviously in her court proceedings, she has expressed wanting to marry her boyfriend and have another child. So it kind of felt like a win, even though I know there's a lot of skepticism around him. Then Octavia Spencer had the viral comment where she said, make him sign a prenup, which we were all kind of thinking. And Sam had like really great response to all that. And he said, that he was more than happy to get a prenup in case Britney dumps him and, she goes after his shoe collection and his Jeep, which I thought was really sweet. And it made me trust him more because I think it sounds like he's really on board with like getting a prenup, and we're all concerned about Britney's money after the last 13 years. And then after Britney, Sam reposted my meme of him, which was, I didn't watermark it.
Stop it.
But that was a hallmark moment for me as a Britney fan. I mean, what a thrill. What a thrill.
Amazing.
Because I sat there and I said, I made Britney Spears laugh today. Yes, because she checks her man's page and it was some wholesome humor. So I knew she was into it. And then I don't think it was because of my meme, but the next day she deactivated Instagram. I hope it wasn't because of my meme. And
you broke Britney.
I know. She was like, you know what? I've seen the best meme I've ever seen. I'm done with the internet. I don't need any more. And so
I can leave happy now.
So I've read online speculation that it's because she has a lot of legal proceedings on the horizon. And so she's obviously taking the legal stance of, staying quiet, which is a smart stance. She tweeted that it was because she was taking time off to enjoy her engagement. So that's really the last of it. And then the only other thing of note is Octavia Spencer apologizing for the comment, and Sam Asghari again being like, misconceptions and jokes are a part of the territory. Like, it's fine, Octavia. So that's kind of what's been going on.
Yeah. Pi, how has this changed anything on your page? If you want to give us kind of a rundown of what you do on TikTok and kind of how this has affected your persona.
Sure. So I started doing Britney about 5 years ago, on and off in the public. And then when COVID hit, I started doing Britney on TikTok on my personal account, and it somewhat took off. And so this year I decided to make my own all Britney TikTok because, you know, niche. And this blew up because it was just right at the same time as everyone kind of really like coming together and realizing what was really going on, because for so long it was really just speculation. And there was a lot of conspiracy theories that were just like way too far beyond. Like, she wrote "help me" on her eyelids, and she's had her vocal cords squeezed so she sounds like a child, which it made me uncomfortable to want to like report on, because I just didn't know the facts. And I'm not one to just like say, oh my God, I think this is what it is, so this is what it is, and almost perpetuate something that's not true. And I have always wanted to honor Britney and represent her well, and especially her story. So when the testimony came out of what she said, that's when I started to actually really report on it, because I'm like, now that the queen has spoken, and it's not just like this what if or this is this, and that's when I kind of started to actually report on her more. And I got, you know, I'm getting the people that are commenting in my comments and almost going against what I say or disagreeing. And one thing that I've really been seeing a lot lately is just this overall distrust of Sam. And I totally 100% understand it. We're all very, you know, we're worried about her, because every single man, if not person in her life, especially her family, has done her so dirty and just like so blatantly open about it. And so I understand this like kind of backlash against Sam. And so many people are just, you know, just worried. And I feel like the reason that Britney went private is because of this exact thing, is the comments that came through, the prenup. And, you know, we don't trust Sam, and no, he's going to control her now. And just people latching onto that side of things, and as opposed to being like, oh my God, we're so happy for you.
Yeah.
Right. Totally.
That's what I've been finding myself doing a lot of lately, is almost like damage control for Britney, because I don't ever want to take that negative, like, you know, route. I want to support Britney. And with this account, that's ultimately what I try to do, is support her career, support her choices, and just support her in general. So I've been really kind of sticking up for Sam, because honestly, personally, I think he's been one of the best things that's ever happened to her. They've been together for over 5 years. He's been nothing but supportive. You know, we can see all the other guys and what happened with them, and we can tell, you know, what kind of person K-Fed was from the get-go, kind of, in a sense. But Sam's been awesome. So, you know, I've just really been using my platform to help support Britney and just show her nothing but love and represent her well.
I feel like if he was after her money, he would have tried for this marriage thing a lot earlier. Plus, like, and a lot of people, when I first made the post about her engagement, that was what I was getting right off the bat, is I don't trust him. You know, she needs to sign a prenup, blah, blah, blah. And my kind of like canned response to that was, she's already made 99% of the money that she is going to make. Like she, you know, even if there was no prenup, like, I'm not a lawyer, but like, it seems like when you come into a marriage and that person has not been a part of, you know, all of the income, it's pretty easy to make a justification that you don't split things half and half. You split it from the start of the marriage. And
it's what you contributed from like the beginning of the marriage to the divorce.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. See, I wondered about that because of California. Like, I wasn't sure if it was like 50-50.
I'm sure every state is different, but yeah, I think even in Virginia, when they look at that, they look at the monies that you've made as a couple collectively, like your prior, you know, investments and what you have prior to that don't matter.
And to be honest, I'm sitting here going, guys, can't we just like pretty much assume that there's going to be a prenup. Like, do we all need to like jump in the fucking ring and say that, you know? I mean, it's just kind of like,
yeah, she can't even go to take a fucking shit without permission. Like, there's gonna be a prenup.
Just let her have her day. You know, my friend had a run-in with Sam, and he is at like all the Free Britney rallies. And actually, like, I think the run-in made me trust Sam a little bit more. What happened was, his name is Jared Lips on Instagram. He's like a celebrity makeup artist, and he is really involved in the Free Britney movement at all the rallies, at the courthouse, always. So he was on the red carpet for like a Netflix event, and there's this guy that goes around LA, and I guess like sometimes his mom's with him or whatever. And he's notorious for getting pictures and autographs from celebrities. So he goes up to Jared on the red carpet, and he's like, Sam is at this little Mediterranean grab and go right down the street. So Jared ran off the red carpet in a tuxedo and full glam to go approach Sam. So he goes up to Sam and he starts asking him questions, but he's obviously really nervous. And Sam's being a little bit standoffish, but nice. And so he's trying to like kind of ease into the conversation. And you know, he wanted to ask about if she controls her social media and all these things, but he was understandably nervous, so forgot to ask all those things. But he said he's with the autograph guy, right? And the autograph guy's mom, and he's like, oh, I loved your GQ article or your GQ magazine. He's like, oh, do you want one of them? Like, I have a bunch, just go into my Jeep, go into the trunk of my Jeep, and like, it's open. So he goes and grabs one from Sam's car, and Sam signs it. And then as they're leaving, because the autograph guy's with his mom, Sam goes, it's nice to see a parent that supports their child so much.
Oh, we love Sam.
It's all low-key shading the Spears parents, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like, he probably has to be quiet and do certain things to stay in her life. So I think he's doing the best with what he has. I personally like Sam, but I'm with you. But there are a lot of naysayers, and I think understandably so, because there's so much smoke and mirrors here.
Right.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, the video, I sent Jessica a video earlier today this way. And I was curious because in the video, they were implying that she doesn't have access. She doesn't normally post on her Twitter. So they thought that post was kind of suspicious, but I was like, I don't know who controls her social media. But
you know, I think that that's a huge question, is that Britney hasn't been controlling her social media. However, I've kind of been more on the other side where I'm like, I think she does. However, there are brand deals that post that are usually just like the quotes or whatever. But Instagram has lately, as I'm pretty sure, has been her way to communicate with us through stories, which is like kind of a new thing. Whenever Britney has a story up, you're like, oh my God, she posted a story. Posts, yes. But then since the Instagram was gone, like, you know, where is she going to go? Her Facebook? I feel like, you know, YouTube. Yeah.
Is she still on TikTok?
She is. Yeah.
Okay.
The last thing
I was
she
wondering.
posted was about a week ago or so.
Yeah, she doesn't post on there often, but
2 weeks ago,
I was checking that last night. It was like she mostly does dances and like outfits and stuff like that.
And it
she
seems like it's
really
a repost from IG.
It is, totally repost and just like repost with the caption, whatever can fit, you know, in the TikTok caption.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I know people make fun of her little TikToks where she does the little basic dance. But when I was trying to imitate her today, I will tell you that it was harder than it looks. You should not judge.
That's what I always say is I know that these moves are not generally what we're used to seeing, but try doing the sharp movements that she does quickly and look good and like she's gone. Like
I know. I look like
just having fun.
My body looks good.
I probably look like The
face
Exorcist.
looks crazy.
So, I mean, Britney can't blink without people being like, oh my God.
I would like fall over if I was trying to do what she did. I think there's so much skepticism around the social media, but I do agree with you, Pi. I think there's been like, especially recently, it seems like a shift where there's more stories and more things where I'm like, this sounds like it could be her. And I think with the tweet, the diction looked very put together. The little emojis looked very put together. Yeah. So if I were to guess anything, I think it was probably a non-dramatic way of saying, hey, going into some legal stuff, a lawyer wrote this out for me. I added a few emojis. I put it on Twitter because I just don't want people losing their minds over the fact that my Instagram isn't up.
Yeah.
And I'll be back, but it's not this ominous thing. It's like, I'm preparing for the fight of my life against these like awful people. So
and like give me a break to just like celebrate, y'all. Can you just stop for a second?
Do you think that they should have held off on the engagement announcement until everything was official? Do you feel like that was a little too I just feel like maybe they shouldn't have done that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's me, but I feel like she should have gotten her shit straight and then kind of.
That's an interesting thought. I don't know.
I think they were kind of like forced into it though because of the hack, like, or the hack, you know, like,
right.
I don't know. So what's the status with the conservatorship right now?
It's in flux. Yeah.
Yeah, the next court date is September 29th. And we all know that Jamie has, you know, dangled the carrot in front of us saying that he'd step down, but when the time is right, but he'll do what's best for his daughter when he feels like it. It's like, what's going on here? So September 29th is hopefully when some things will take course more. Matthew Rosengart has literally come out swinging. Like, this guy is not effing around. And he wants to not only get Britney, you know, out of the conservatorship, but also get criminal charges against Jamie for what he's done. And I feel like Jamie's lawyers and Jamie have both been trying to like save face with these weird ploys of like, yeah, I'll step down, you know, and then his lawyers say, oh yeah, you know, he's had nothing but Britney's best interest at heart and he's been the best conservator ever. And we're all just sitting here going, shut up. This is not true. Stop trying to gaslight society and change the narrative. You know, January 6th again. Like we see you. You can't change it. And Matthew Rosengart is going to make sure, hopefully, that all this missing money and all these like weird things that are happening with the, you know, estate and the money is accounted for.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I also feel like if they're so invested and happy for Britney and her life, like why haven't one of them come out and congratulated her on her engagement? Not even Jamie Lynn. So it's like, you know, like you're obviously not close with your sister. Like if my sister was engaged, like I would be posting about it like for like a week.
Yeah.
I saw that Jamie Lynn and the mother were doing somewhat of an MLM business all of a sudden.
Selling
face
Rodent
wash.
Fields.
Britney's mom?
Is it Rodent Fields?
Yes.
I use Rodent Fields though.
I don't think it's Rodent. No, it's not. Actually, I don't know what the brand is.
No, it is. There's nothing wrong with it, but they're
it's just weird timing.
It's almost like she's become like a salesperson for it though. Like kind of like with Avon and stuff, how you can become a salesperson for it. Like which like there's nothing wrong with it, but it is also rather unusual.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought that was like, are you guys not invested in what's happening with your daughter? I don't know. You know, it's just.
But buy some face cream.
It was a little bit like what? I also think like there's a lot of stuff that like that makes no sense. That maybe someday when this is all resolved, we'll look back and be like, oh, that was because she wasn't as involved or whatever it is. I mean, I don't know. It's very confusing. I think we're all constantly changing our mind about what we think about this conservatorship and different elements of it. I know I like will post something. I don't know about you, Pi, but then I'll post it and then I'll get like so many different people coming into my comment section having the exact opposite opinion. And it's like, we can only guess at this point. We only have so much to go off of because there's so much secrecy around it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I'm just hoping that, you know, Britney will have some tell-all memoir that at the end or something, a book that comes out. Because, like, we're going to take these questions to the grave if we don't get our, like, it's going to just eat us alive if we never know. Like, were you running your Instagram or were you not? Like, we want to know. Yeah.
I mean, it seems like she's putting out these personal messages with her videos. So it feels like it's her.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just the way that she types, like the emojis, and it's just like this long story and it's so personal. Every post is like, you know, when it's so long and it's just like, who would make that up? Like, who else would say that besides Britney? You know, just for me, it's her.
What would like the next couple months or years for Britney, ideally, what does that look like for you?
For Britney, like, what do you mean for her life?
Like how this, you know, how the conservatorship kind of would transition. Like, what do you think would, just given what we know about her mental health and what she's been through, what do you think the ideal situation for her is, just on like what we know from the public?
Well, ideally, Britney actually is recently quoted as saying that she wants to keep Jodie Montgomery on the conservator. So she actually she needs somebody to help run everything. It's, you know, there's so much happening. Like, it's a big deal. Britney Spears is like such a huge brand that I feel like ultimately she does need somebody and a trustworthy team, you know, that passes all the tests that can still stay with her. However, she's made it very clear that she wants to live a private life. She wants to have another life with another child. I hope Britney has a little baby girl because I think that's what she's wanting. But I think that you know, everyone wants her to have this like comeback career or this like revenge tour, and I just feel like Britney feels like she doesn't need to. She doesn't need to come back and make this huge comeback. She's kind of already, you know, done everything. She's been performing since she was like 5 years old on Star
She didn't have
Search.
a childhood. Really didn't. Like, I feel like I'm the only one in this room that was old enough to actually watch Britney Spears on Disney. I could be wrong.
I watched the
reruns. Are you going to say reruns?
Reruns. I wasn't old enough to watch Star Search. I'm only 6
I watched it when it was actually happening in real time. I also watched Star Search. Okay. God, I feel old. Thank you, ladies. Anyway.
Yeah, I just feel like Britney needs her privacy, and I don't know how much privacy she's ever going to get because the paparazzi are a beast of an uncontrollable beast. And I hope that she gets the life and the you know, privacy that she deserves.
Yeah. Lauren, how about you?
Oh God. I mean, I mirror a lot of that. I think that there's so much of her that like has never lived a normal life. And I think that's what she would want for herself. And I hope that, same as you, Pi, I hope that she has a baby. I hope that she has a wonderful wedding and has whatever budget she wants for that frickin' wedding and goes on a trip around the world and every 4 seasons or whatever hotel she wants to be at. I also selfishly hope that she gets like awarded like some crazy award at one of these like really big award shows and does like one last performance as like a free woman for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like
A free Britney tour. A free Britney tour.
Oh God. And like all the free Britney merch that she gets to make money off of. And then there's like a free Britney song. Okay, but like I'm getting ahead of myself. But I hope that she does an Oprah interview, but this is all selfish, right? But like for her life, I hope that she just does what's going to make her happiest. And if performing is not that, then you know what? We have plenty of YouTube videos to go back to. And I think like we've all been Britney fans for so long. I have like a signed autographed Britney Spears Baby One More Time CD right there on my wall. My grandparents got me in an auction. I love it. It's like always been a prized possession. But I've been a fan of her for so long that it's like, I think she feels like a part of us. And so we want what's best for her because we just like, you can see that she's just like a pure person. Who's been like bogged down by awful people. So I think we just want the best for her. Now, do you guys think she will do an Oprah interview? That's the question I have for you guys. Because I'm curious what you think.
I think she'll do it? She would. Yep.
Definitely not a Diane Sawyer interview.
Oh my God, right? Never again.
Oh, I do not like that at all anymore. Yeah. I wanted to mention, y'all, I'm actually heading Free Britney March that's happening on September 29th, which is the next court date. There's one obviously in LA outside of the court, but this one is going to be at Virginia Beach. So if anybody is in the Virginia area and can make it to Virginia Beach, September 29th.
Damn it, girl, I get surgery the day before. I could show up on me breathing with like tissue gauze shoved in my body.
Wheel you in.
I'll just like put a mask on. No one will know look like how bad I look, but
yeah, it's 3 p.m. We're meeting at 3 p.m. at the big Neptune statue. I'll be traveling out there.
Neptune.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna, you know, despite the horizon looking positive and bright, we're still gonna we're not done yet, you know.
Right.
Yeah. I think it helps her to know like how many people are supporting her and how many people have eyes on the situation because she's got to be freaked out. And I went to one of the marches in LA, and honestly, there's something about being around other Britney fans that like really care about this that just makes you feel like less like an absolute lunatic for caring so much. But it's like, again, we just love Britney. So
yeah.
It's killing me. You look so much like her.
Do people go crazy, dear Brittany, when you go, Pi, when you go to those types of things, like dressed? Are they like losing their shit? Like, wait a minute, double taking and like, hold up.
You know, nobody ever actually thinks that I'm her. They only ever come up to me and say, "Oh my God, does does anyone ever tell you, like, this might be weird, but you
look like Britney.
You
look
know
so
what I'm
like
gonna
her.
say? Like, yeah, no. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I do think that because Britney has recently really spoken about the Free Britney movement. Like up until recently, she never really mentioned it. It was kind of like, does she see us? Does she care? Does this matter? And she's mentioned how much she loves her fans and that the Free Britney movement is like so great for her. And so it just kind of lit this bigger fire. They're like, oh my God, she appreciates this, and it's helpful for her. And I think the whole thing has been awesome to just kind of bring to light what was really going on, because for 13 years, this conservatorship has done a good job of hiding what the conservatorship was doing. So, and after so long, we're like, what the fuck? Okay. Like,
Yeah.
Let us in.
Well,
yeah. What's really
everyone was
on?
pushing so hard, like kind of in the early days of her having this comeback and getting her body back. And like, now, like having gone through all of that, the postpartum stuff myself with 2 kids back to back, I feel it in my soul, like seeing the documentary that came out a couple months ago. Like, I cannot even imagine going through that in the public eye, let alone as someone who was just like one of the most famous people in the world. Like, of course, all of that happened. And then I feel like, they just threw all the drugs at her and kind of like just like initiated this like checkout that she has just been under. And it's so hard to watch, and like, and so hard to like remember the feelings that I had, being like, oh yeah, she's a train wreck. But like, I was a train wreck too. Like, if the
and could you imagine, like, we're train wrecks without a spotlight, like to be a train wreck and dealing with like the normal after post baby bullshit, and then also being this like huge idol that people just obsessively are wanting to know your every move. Like, I couldn't imagine.
And the level of intrusiveness of the paparazzi.
Oh my God.
As a postpartum mother, when you're trying to protect your baby, I'm sure like psychologically that's got to be insane.
Not to mention she was a child actress, and like there's never been a time in her life where it's just been like, I get to be normal. And someone actually mentioned in our comments about Drew Barrymore, like same thing. Like these women have like really overcome a lot of dark demons because they didn't get a normal life. Like they have been in the spotlight from day one. That's all they remember. So yeah, when they have, mental issues, like a mental breakdown, it is literally publicized, and like, on top of already being in a dark place. So it's, I can't even imagine. Like, I just can't.
And so many child stars have had that breakdown and never came back from it. Like it just, they were gone. I mean, Macaulay Culkin, I think he has made a comeback, but we all saw like this crazy, weird.
Corey
like,
Haim.
Oh
Corey Haim was heartbreaking for me. Like, I am an 80s baby. I have watched every single movie that Feldman and Haim did. Like, I adored them. And so, it kind of broke me when I saw, I mean, both of them went through some shit, but of course he lost his life. And I was just like, that one like really hit me when I was younger. I'm like, oh my God, like, the Goonies and like just everything like that was my childhood. So and so many, like you said, so many child actors that I grew up like just idolizing, just some dark shit.
So the Media Jock said, would Drew Barrymore be a good interviewer as well? She was a child actor. Absolutely. I think that she would, I think Oprah does a great job of making people feel comfortable and to come out of their shell. Obviously, she's the best at what she does. But like, I think what Britney needs is to connect on that level and to, to have it be less of a, okay, this is your chance. You have to like, exude confidence and show everyone that you've got your shit together, where it's like, you just need to connect with somebody and be real and show the world that you're a human too, who goes through human things. And like, kind of to go back to the postpartum stuff, like literally every single mom has the postpartum hair chop, like, even if it's just something like less dramatic than that, Everybody does it, like to the point where I know, people like hairdressers who refuse to cut more than a trim off of a postpartum mom's hair. I cut mine. Yeah, my hair was this long after I had my son. I chopped it, dyed it, like bleached it myself at home, black. And then dyed it blue.
Wait, that's like crazy.
Wow. I chopped mine all the way to here, like straight up bob, shaved the back, dyed it black, had like layers after my second. Side. Yeah.
No way, because I talked to a woman when I had like shaved my head once, and like I talked to a woman who like shaved her head after giving birth. I didn't realize this was a thing.
Yeah.
I think it's like one of those like shedding a stress. Like hair can be very stressful. I think that was for me. Like I'm just gonna get rid of it because that's less I gotta blow dry and deal with, and just like it's one less thing that's in my face, and I'm trying to like nurse and just be like present.
And it's all falling out. Like
you do with that too.
Yeah, I had really bad postpartum hair loss to the point where like I would wake up in the morning and my pillowcase would just be like, full of hair, and I could just run my hands through it, and I would pull out like literal chunks. And I was like, I just can't, like, I can't do it anymore. And it just, you can never, like, it never looks nice because you're not sleeping and you're not showering and you've got puke in it. And like, it just,
you lose your identity. You do.
Yes.
Yeah. And with Britney,
when you become a mom, you do.
Yeah, with Britney, I feel like she had not only just this immense pressure from the media and the paparazzi, all at the same time of just having her children, but she has such a soft spot for children that they meant so much to her that I think it just like, you see back to like when she was first getting started, she would go talk to her fans all the time. She went to one of her #1 fans' house in Hawaii, and all these children came. And anytime you see Britney interviewing with little kids, she's always like, "Oh my God!"
Like she's just in heaven.
I just love you. Come here, let me hug you, and you're so cute. And will you keep in touch? Like she just has the biggest heart for kids, and has always wanted kids. Had kids, and it was just like this fucking nightmare. And I just like, the way to just take away the best thing that she has, and literally take her kids away. Like this whole, manipulation conservatorship where they used her kids in a sense
as a weapon.
They weaponized her kids and threatened her that they would take her kids away. If we find drugs in your system, we'll take your kids away. Meanwhile, K-Fed is over here advertising marijuana. Like it just, the double standards.
Also, here's all the drugs. Yeah.
Right. The double standards with back in the day were just so disgusting, and we still deal with it a lot. But I think we're a lot more aware of the guy and the girl need to be the same. But I feel like Britney just has mentioned this before, that she wants another baby and she wants to have a child and almost like do it right in a sense. Not that she did it wrong, but just have that privacy that she never had.
Well, right. Yeah. And with Sam, it's going to be so much more of a healthy situation. It's not going to be her versus K-Fed and this like really chaotic element as a father. Like Sam is going to be a good dad. You can tell just by the way that he.
And they're going to have the cutest babies.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. I really hope she has like at least one. I really am pulling for her because the way the kids were weaponized was awful. And I think even just when she was on that Vegas residency, when she did have access to the kids, they were constantly being ripped away from her. Even when she was spending time with them, because she was just like a workhorse on that Vegas residency and she was so unhappy. I know you guys probably saw when she was like supposedly performing with like the really high fever and stuff. And it was just awful to see. And I think one of the most insidious parts of this conservatorship for me was the juxtaposition between Lindsay Lohan and Britney, and Lindsay Lohan's dad actually speaking out against Lou Taylor and saying, this woman tried to put my daughter under a conservatorship and blah, 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 blah. And just seeing that pattern. And then obviously you guys have probably seen the movie I Care a Lot.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's just all feels so crazy, And it feels like the money was all about the money, and the money was bigger than Britney, and they want to control.
Yeah.
I don't know. Of course, I think
that movie was like dark but true. Like it's
Yeah.
it's literally what people do. They literally push out family members to control the finances of these people that really could likely have. I didn't like the way that movie ended, though. I felt very empty inside.
I felt very empty too, and it's crazy because
so empty.
There was a woman that committed it on a massive scale right near my grandparents' community, and her name was April Parks. And like people would find their relatives when they were like ashes. Like she kept on moving them, and I mean it's just the most evil thing ever. But I think in this case, it's like instead of it being some third party, Britney Spears' dad was like involved. Obviously, it's all alleged, but it seems that he was colluding with the third party to make this happen for longer than it needed to. Because I think she just needed a business manager like any of us would if we had that much money to help us with our finances.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
But not controlling every aspect. So yeah, someone's saying, do you wonder how many performances that Britney did that were really for her and not for those that were? Do you feel like she had a moment where she
posted on TikTok maybe a couple months ago where she was like, hey, you guys, like you see me dancing in my kitchen a lot, but like this is who I am and this is the dancer that I am. And she posted a lot of clips of her dancing and like the more kind of like iconic moments that I felt like she like felt like that was really her.
Like the flower.
She actually, with Michael Jackson, like those clips, right? So she actually, that was originally posted to Instagram with a caption that said, hey guys, in case you forget, I know you see me dancing in my living room, but this all happened before the conservatorship. So let's not forget that. Then she deleted the caption. I have the screenshots. I actually made a TikTok about it. Part of the caption is still up on TikTok because you can't change those captions, but it doesn't say anything about the conservatorship on the TikTok side because it was too short to fit it in there. But it literally said, just remember, this was what I did before that was in place. Because I think, she's been such a hard worker. She was always very much like a huge part of overseeing everything and being in charge of what happened and how it went down. She was very involved. And then when the conservatorship took over, she really lost a lot of say in how things went. And I don't think we really realized that for a long time. And now looking back in retrospect, we're kind of like, oh my God. Like, so, I mean, this is amazing work, but how much of her was really involved in it besides just being the puppet,
Right. She just had strings attached and that was it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty.
And I feel like there was an element of that in the whole comeback, performance where, after everything happened and, the hair incident and, I think that she just seemed like a robot and it was like this kind of steady decline. And like, that's, one of the reasons why I really would not support a comeback from her, performing wise. I think that what's best for Britney is going to be to have another baby or two, whatever she wants, and to just enjoy her essentially retirement and to be a mom, because that's what she wants more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just one last performance, like one last.
Right. I was gonna say, and if she
just for me, let's like a free Britney tour, like come on,
just be like, I'm free, bitch, and then she can like do all the hits and then do all the but just one last time, one
left, and go have babies. There you go.
Yeah. You can pass the torch to me. I'll do her I'll go around tour Britney. It's great.
No, you need to go on tour with like Derek Barry or something and do something in Vegas.
I actually, I'm now that I'm in the world of impersonators, I've met multiple Britney impersonators. I actually have met Derek Barry. I used to be a backup dancer and choreographer for drag queens in Denver. And we did this huge show called Drag Nation every month. And I got to choreograph for Chad Michaels, who was on RuPaul's Drag Race. Wow. He's the number one Cher impersonator in the world. And so sweet. I got to choreograph for Chad. I got to meet like all the RuPaul's queens because we'd have RuPaul's Drag Race queens, one or two, come every month, as well as our local queens. Evie Oddly, she's my friend from a long time. She's from Denver. I choreographed for her. Yeah, but I got to meet Derek Barry one month. He was one of the guests, and I had only performed as Britney once before, so I was still kind of not really Britney yet. But in my head, I was still Britney. And Derek was so sweet. And I was like, oh my God, I'm Britney too. And we like took a boomerang that I have since lost. I'm like, no. I'm in contact with another Britney impersonator in Florida. Her name's Ashley Pitzer. There's like two in the UK that are amazing. And I'm just like, what if we just all got together one day and just like had like a Britney party? You know that meme of like Spider-Man pointing at the other Spider-Man? I'm like, we need to do that. Who's the real Britney?
Oh my God. Well, did you see when all the Adele impersonators got together and then Adele was back behind the stage and like it was this whole like, it was for a show, but I was just thinking like how amazing would it be if like they like Britney secretly had all the Britney impersonators come to like a place like they did with Adele, and then Britney was behind the stage, or if she had all of you in a music video with her for like, oh, I know she's not going to do any more music, but for the landmark performance for the last one, that would be great.
One that as already demanded.
Listen,
oh my God,
you know what?
That would be amazing, actually.
Hi, if you ever get an invite to a Britney impersonator event, please let us know so that we can be available.
We'll change our appearances. We'll learn the choreography immediately.
You know, it's so funny because there's been this whole conspiracy of that there's Britney clones out there. And oh no, that's Britney's clone for sure. Because she didn't used to have a gap in her teeth, but now this one has a gap. And so there's like this whole clone thing. And really, honestly, up until like last week, I have never gotten, oh, it's Britney's clone comments. But this one video, for some reason, they're like, oh my God, I knew it. She's a clone. This is a clone. I knew Britney had clones. I'm just like,
that's high praise.
There's many Britney clones out there, actually.
I need to hear more of these conspiracy theories.
No, you don't, Jessica. No, you don't. We've heard enough. You really want more?
Yeah, the one that's really that came up a lot recently that I've been having to just like comment no is with Sam. And there's this one video where Sam and Britney are working out and they're so cute. And people they say that Sam tells her to smile. And she all of a sudden she starts smiling and you can't hear, it's just music. And people like literally believe it to be true. And it becomes this whole thing of like, well, that's why I think Sam is toxic. And I'm like, you don't even, you're just,
and like, even if he did say like smile for Instagram, like, is that really like, it could have been like smile, pretty smile. Like, it might not be like this insidious thing. Like, it might just be like, she's working out. She doesn't realize what her face looks like. They're taking a video, you know?
There's a lot of conspiracies against Sam. There's another one where she and him, there's like a 3 or 4 picture post on Instagram where one of them, Sam is kissing Britney's cheek, but another one where Sam has his hands kind of like almost around her neck. It looks like he's about to grab her face to kiss him. But the way that his hands are is very much like, it almost looks like, you know, and people are like, oh my God.
I hate to be like this, but some people are into that shit. So why do you have to like kink shame? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that like that.
And Britney was supposed to sing the S&M song with Rihanna, and she actually did do the S&M, like a performance with it. But, you know, chips and wains.
With the chains.
Oh, hi, Snowy. Oh, hi. It's my friend. Chips and wains.
Chips and wains excite me. That's so funny.
Oh, my gosh.
And chains, yeah.
I mean, stop kink shaming people. It's okay.
Yeah,
totally. All the men in her life, like, we don't really need to be concerned with this one. You know?
I saw like another conspiracy about his ex-girlfriend and how he was cheating on her, and it's like people pulled content from his old relationship and made it seem more current or something. And like I've just seen so many, and it's like I actually, from what I've heard and seen and his reactions to like criticism online being so like non-confrontational and like kind about it, I like have a pretty good impression of him. So that's my stance.
He deals with you know, things very well with humor and with like positivity as opposed to like attack back.
He doesn't react. Yeah.
prenup thing. He was like, of course we're gonna have a prenup. You know, I got to protect my shoes and my Jeep. There's another instance where a paparazzi was asking him about Britney and them getting engaged or whatever, and he said, "Oh yeah, we've already been married for like, you know, whatever, 2 years. We got secretly married in Hawaii," and it's just like joking, you know, and it's just like it's fun to see him be positive and lighthearted about it. He's also been asked about the Free Britney movement, to which he says, "I absolutely support the Free Britney movement." He posted a picture of himself wearing what looked like a finger-painted Free Britney shirt. I'm not sure who painted it, if he did or the kids, but he posted that on Britney's day of testimony. It said Free Britney. I'm like, you guys, I just don't. The hate towards him is really unwarranted. You know, he really hasn't done anything to make us doubt him besides everybody else making us doubt, you know, everybody. So
is his IG still up, or does his also go down? So his is still up. Okay. All right. I mean, maybe we'll see some hints of her from that.
We actually do. Say,
what if they're getting married?
Right. We do see a lot of Britney in his posts. Like he posts about them a lot. As far as the marriage go, I foresee there not being a huge wedding at all. I don't either. Is her dad going to be there? Is he going to walk her down the aisle? I just think they're so sick of people and they just want to have their thing or a big wedding. But I just foresee it being a small private thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever she wants.
Right.
Hi, you should marry them. It should be Justin Britney impersonators there.
Oh my God, I would love that.
It's like Vegas with Elvis, but with Britney impersonators.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. And since he reposted my meme, I take that as like an invitation to the wedding. So I will also be there. We'll take the Jesses as our plus ones.
Love it. Yes.
Like, she actually watched you on Disney when you actually recorded it for Disney.
Yeah,
like
she
told us about it. She told us about it.
Oh my goodness. Well, I would love to take the time for both of you to kind of plug what you guys have got going on, so our followers can find you and follow you and whatever. So Lauren, do you want to go first? You got a lot going on right now.
Oh my God, so much going on. Not all that I can announce just yet, but for now, you can follow me on social. I'm the Zen Blonde on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll probably have some more fun announcements in the fall.
Yay.
Nice. Hey, what about this missing girl thing? I saw this thing this morning about.
Oh my God, Gabby. Yeah. It begins with a P. It's. Oh God, I'm gonna butcher it. Do you know anything about it? Because I can tell you really quick.
No idea. Let's talk about it. We still have some time.
Okay.
Let's talk about
so here's the deal. I'd love to plug this because the girl's missing. So what happened was her name is Gabby. I think it's like Patali or Patani. Let me just
I'll
see
grab
real
it.
quick.
You talk. I'll grab it.
So anyway, she
Gabby Petito.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, she went on a cross-country road trip with her boyfriend, and they were living like van life, basically. And they were in Grand Teton. She's super cute. She's like 22, 23, from New York, living in Florida with her boyfriend. Her dad had moved out there, so she'd have a family member close by. But they went on this road trip. They were supposed to end around Halloween. And so she was in Grand Teton, and her parents assumed that she didn't have cell reception. And so they hadn't heard from her for a few days. But they're like, she's fine. She's good. And then the boyfriend returned to Florida with her van and without her and got a lawyer and refuses to share any information with the police or the FBI as to where she is. There had been a dispute in the van, and there's a whole police report that just came out about it. And actually, if you guys want to listen to like a podcast that's true crime specifically about this, it's called Going West. They've reported on it pretty extensively. They posted a lot of the stuff, but you can look at some of her videos and van life videos, and it looks like somebody that's been crying all night. So there's like some speculation that she was manic, this and that, but it's just a very weird situation, and it's like unfolding presently, and yeah, it's like the boyfriend's just not cooperating. So it's very, very strange.
Fiance, they got engaged.
Well, okay, this was the other thing. Now he's been listed as a person of interest, and the mother said that the engagement broke right before they went on the road trip. So it made me think, like, okay, could somebody have been held a rage within them and premeditated something? Like, you just never know. I mean, that's total speculation, and like, who knows, right? But the weird thing is, and a lot of people have been reporting on this, when they were in Yellowstone, they're right near that zone of death, which is the gray area, the legal loophole with weird jurisdiction that everyone talks about, because technically, legally, somebody could be killed there and maybe not held accountable because of a legal loophole. Like a crime could be committed in this strip of land in Idaho that's technically in Yellowstone, because there's no, like, because of the boundary lines or something. Like, it's a weird jurisdiction. And so it just, I mean, that was where my brain went, because I knew about that weird little zone, and
That's
I'm like, oh
creepy.
my God.
So there's
But
like a
again,
place on Earth where you just go kill people and there's no issues? Is that what you're saying?
You'll have to Google it, zone of death, but essentially it's saying, like, you could conceivably commit a crime there and not be held accountable. It's like creepy.
No
It's
man's
creepy.
land.
It's totally that's a
All right.
Is that where they
conspiracy.
take the people in the show Yellowstone when they just throw them off the cliff?
You know what? It might be. I haven't seen that show, but listen, this is all conspiracy, but that was just where my brain went. And so my brain goes to the worst place possible. But I guess we will find out hopefully soon. I hope she's safe.
Well, apparently the boyfriend said, he came out with a statement saying that he's not going to say anything, or that he's, you know, I'm not saying anything. That's my statement. Yeah. It's like, oh,
that's not suspicious at all.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Yeah, exactly.
I'm suspicious. Wow.
Yeah. Super sus. My heart goes out to her family. Her dad apparently just flew out there. They're already flying out to where they think that the last place that she was at to go look for her.
It's terrible. I mean, it's every parent's worst nightmare. Obviously, if her dad moved to Florida, so she'd have a family member close by, since they were from New York, like that's when you know a parent's obviously very close with their child. And you know, it's scary to think, you know, like what might have happened to her. And I mean, one would think that if you were in a relationship with somebody, if you didn't have anything to do with it, you would be invested in helping the person. But to drive their van back across the country without them after a dispute. Right.
Well, and what was the dispute? Like neither of them called the police. Somebody else did. So they were around other people.
I can read you the police report really quick if you guys want.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not long. So after I sat Gabrielle in the back seat of my car, I asked Brian to step out of the vehicle to speak with me. He told me that they both suffer from blank. It doesn't say what. It crossed it out. And although her blank is more advanced than his, issues between the two had been building over the last few days. This in turn caused them to argue more than usual. Brian told me neither he nor Gabrielle take medication for their blank. Brian explained he and Gabrielle have been traveling together for the last 4 or 5 months. That time spent created emotional strain between them and increased the number of arguments. While arguing near Main Street, he had attempted to separate her from her so they could both calm their emotions. He got into their van and Gabrielle had gone into a manic state. Brian said Gabrielle, thinking he was going to leave her in Moab without a ride, went to slap him. As Gabrielle started to swing, Brian pushed her away to avoid the slap. As a result, Gabrielle, off balance but still caught Brian's face with some fingers, causing some minor visible scratches. Brian continued that he had seen my lights. He thought Gabrielle had grabbed the wheel of the van and pulled it, causing the van to hit the curb. I observed some small scratches to Brian's right arm and asked him about them. He supposed they must have happened when Gabrielle was trying to get his attention about me being behind them with my lights on. This, however, was not consistent with Gabrielle's statement, further suggesting her confused and emotional state. After evaluating the totality of the circumstances, I do not believe the situation escalated to the level of a domestic assault as much as that of a mental health crisis. I then determined the most appropriate course of action would be to separate the parties for the night so they could reset their mental states without interference from one another. And although they did express a desire to remain together, they both ultimately agreed to be separated until the following day. Accordingly, I was able to contact Safe Haven and get Brian a hotel room for the night. I instructed both Brian and Gabrielle to take advantage of the time apart to relax their emotions and regain control of their anxiety. I also asked them to avoid contacting each other until the next morning, if possible. And Gabrielle maintained possession of the van while I transported Brian to the hotel. They did have their own cell phones in case of emergency. And then he said, like, there's like a body cam, right? So this is from a police officer. But the thing is, he was then in possession of her van. So obviously something, like, they got back together after this incident.
Right.
It's just very, very strange. The whole thing's very convoluted. I hope she did just like run off and he ran off with the van, but to get a lawyer and to be so
that's really
that was
suspicious.
the first thing he did.
Unhelpful.
Right.
Yeah.
And the verbiage saying manic, I mean, that to me sounds like maybe they're talking about bipolar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
With the amount of space with the thing scratched out, that's kind of what I was gauging, but you just never know. But you hope that maybe she just was in a bad mental state and is like hiding from the world right now. And hope to God, but it's just weird on his end.
Right.
Yeah, his behaviors suggest that's not the case, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Hope we're wrong.
It's
okay.
confusing.
Your turn, Pie.
Okay, you guys can all follow me obviously at Dear Brittany, but I also have another account. It's called Pie Duval. That's just my name. It's the one I started a while back. There's Britney stuff on there, but I also get political on there. I avoid political stuff on my Britney account because it's not my place to do that. Those don't always mix. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Britney and I have similar views. She did post the Black Lives Matter thing at one point, and I was like, yeah, Britney, okay. But you guys can also check out me on Instagram, Dance Pie Dance. I'm actually a professional dancer. That's how I got my start in business. My mother's a professional dancer as well. She danced at Radio City Music Hall and was in Hollywood and all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's awesome. We actually currently teach belly dancing classes on Thursdays and Saturdays via Zoom. So if anybody's interested in that, it's bellydanceworkoutclass.com. I also just launched my own Britney impersonator website. It's called BritneyImpersonator.com. And if y'all are interested in hiring me, you just slide down to the bottom and fill out your little event details, and I'll send you a quote. Or, sorry, my people will send you a quote. My people will get with your people.
Your people will get with our people.
I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, check me out. I'm a huge Britney lover, advocate, fan, spokesperson. Yeah,
and go to the march.
Spokesperson. And we're going to and one more little plug of that, going to the march September 29th, Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach, awesome. 3 p.m. I will be there with my bullhorn, which is actually right here.
Like a protest weekend because the Women's March is on October 2nd. That weekend.
Oh, that's right. October 2nd. That's right. Oh my gosh. Put that all together.
It's a marching type of weekend.
Yep.
Nice. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. As usual, we will be back next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Thank you, ladies.
With someone.
And thank you with someone. We'll figure it out. We have our shit together.
Organized.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me. This has been so awesome. Absolutely. I'm such huge fans of all of y'all, so thank you.
Thanks as always, you guys. And I got to meet close to meeting Britney Spears as ever. So you guys really wow, what a moment.
There she is right there.
Oh my God, stop.
I actually have a circus jacket right here.
Oh my God.
Slave for you right here.
Oh.
I actually make all this. Oh, there's a baby one more time.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a crafter, and
oh my God, you do! Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah, I just got this jacket from Goodwill or the Ark and added the decorations.
Decked it up.
Yeah,
that's so amazing.
Outfit.
I love it.
Oh my God,
snake is right here.
That is my dream.
Yeah, I love it.
That is amazing.
Thanks. It's Britney,
I'm gonna take you to Burning Man with me.
Britney, bitch.
I went to Burning Man in 2008 when I was like 19. Nice. I haven't been back. I wanted to go this year, but didn't happen really. Okay.
This is the year to go.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We love you very much. Love you both. Love you, Jess. And we will see you all next week.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.